Hi, my name is Nina. I'm a platform manager from Indonesia. I speak 2.5 languages, so those being Bahasa Indonesia, which is my native language, English, and some French.
Hi, I am Diogo Martins. I am originally from Portugal. I've been living in Asia for almost 30 years. I speak Portuguese, French, English, Spanish, some Italian, Mandarin, and I can understand a bit of Cantonese and a few other languages.
Hi, I'm Lisa. Born and bred in Singapore. Languages I speak include English, Chinese, and Hokkien.
I'm Khairul Azmas, my full name. I am Singaporean. And the languages I speak Malay and English.
Hi, I'm Hidayah. I'm Singaporean and I speak English, Malay, and Bahasa.
Hi, I'm Iskandar. I'm Malay. I come from Singapore. I speak English and Malay fluently. Alright. Okay, choose this word. Understanding.
Juicy stuff.
So I chose xenophobia.
Ta-da!
Ay, 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 ay.
So I picked discrimination because of, not just because of the heated topic right now in Singapore, but also because of what I went through as a child. Like, I speak Malay, but I actually am Indian if by ethnicity. So what happened during school days was that it always seems I don't belong anywhere because the Indians will reject me because I speak Malay, and the Malays will reject me because I'm dark and I'm Indian. So it's quite tough blending in back then. Like, I mean, obviously when you're a kid, you always want to feel like you're part of a group. So I felt that I'm always discriminated for who I am.
I think the color of my skin, the moment I do not think of it, it becomes an easier way for people to accept who I am, right? The moment it becomes the first thing I think of, it then becomes a problem. Because I know that everyone talks about white privilege in Singapore, everyone talks about all of the benefits that the Chinese and everyone else has in the country, right? But the moment the color of your skin is not the main topic of conversation, or at least how you are thinking on the conversation, people tend to be more accepting of you as a person rather than what you look like. If you want specific moments where it's happened, at my job all the time, most of the time people see me as the white guy at the company, right? And they joke. But after having a conversation really for more than a couple of minutes, it becomes just a normal conversation.
Okay, being in the majority race allows me to have the privilege. Why? Because honestly, if you ask me at the top of my head now whether I encounter any bad experiences because of my skin color, not so much. And I guess it's a happy problem because it's more about me trying to understand how the others are like, what do they experience, so that I can go back and try to see how else I can help in, whether at work, whether personally, socially, etc. People tend to have this impression that Chinese are more hardworking, and then the non-Chinese are the other way around. But maybe because being in Singapore, we are taught everything is about equality, and this kind of gave me the thing about, as much as Chinese is privileged in some sense, there's always this thing about having to work harder to prove your worth.
I think it's understanding being an Indonesian in Singapore, because I think it's a commonplace for an Indonesian to work abroad. So I have been, people have, accepted that the fact that, there's a lot of Indonesians here and I'm working here and it's fine. Understanding. So I used to have a flatmate who has a dog and she's away a lot. So I took care of the dog, so I have to walk her morning and night. So in the morning, you know, before waking up completely, I just use my pajama and just look like pretty much like a homeless. But then, because I stay in River Valley, there's a lot of expats. So one time, a lady with the baby stroller come to me and say, "Oh, so cute, the dog. Is it your master's?" And I'm like, "Huh? Yo, I work here."
Okay, so I'm dating a Chinese. My girlfriend is Chinese, so I receive a lot of like racist comments all the time. So when we first got together, like her friends were like joking on Facebook. They were saying like, "Oh, maybe I can get free Ramly burgers from Khai," on Facebook. So when I saw that, I didn't know whether I should just let it go or, you know, because it's offensive to me. Like, just because I'm Malay, you think I sell Ramly burgers, you know. So for me, it's like, I don't think I can accept this. So I actually replied to that Facebook comment. "Oh yeah, sure, I can give you 2 if you want." Then that guy like suddenly like felt like as if I'm trying to pick a fight with him, you know. Because like, if you are daring enough to say that, then I can also reply. Yeah, so then after that, my girlfriend just said, "Hey, no, chill, you guys should chill. Don't like, yeah, get carried away lah." Then it's offensive to me. Like you're saying that, like as if, what do you mean, you know? Yeah. So that was one of the, for me lah, like it's quite, I was quite actually triggered by that Facebook comment. Yeah.
It's always the racist remarks against my skin, which obviously as a kid it affected me a lot. I always wish I'm fair, because the thing is, my dad is fair, so obviously among our siblings there's someone who's fair, and I'm always the dark one. So even among family members, say if you go for Hari Raya celebration, right, people start to compare you for your looks, like, oh, just because you're fair means you're good looking, so if you're dark, you're not, like, obviously you're the uglier one in the family.
In Hong Kong and Macau, everyone calls you a guaylo. That's something that just comes with the territory. The moment you see it as a derogatory term, then it becomes a problem. If you just see it as people being people, right, then it really doesn't matter. Same thing happens in China with lawai and all the other crap that they call you, right? So it's never the actual words, it's more the intention behind them. People can call me an asshole. I don't mind, but it's just how they actually tone it in calling me an asshole that then becomes a problem.
In being Indonesian must be like you're born with corruption, so you're also corrupt. So that's one. Second is that they have like a stereotype that all Indonesians are rich, and I'm like, well, I'm at best middle class.
The jokes. Okay, normally there are certain jokes that related, which is that we normally joke around, is especially colored based, not about the skin, but how colors associated with different races. Like there is so like obvious when it comes to Chinese, you are like red and everything. So we always make fun about the red thing. Hey, walao, Chinese confirm the graphics must be color, something like that lah, you know, because it's a Chinese thing. And then Malay, they always associate green with Malay, and like Indians, they also like purple with Indian. So I guess that kind of joke sometimes, like for example, you go events or you see certain things like, oh, this poster is purple, confirm Indian one, something like that lah. But it's not of a heavy joke or something insensitive, but I guess it's a color relation that's stereotyped by everybody lah. So yeah.
I think one of them was like, oh, you sure you want to go with Khairul? Why not any other Chinese guy? Why must be a Malay guy or like, you know, whatever? Then like my girlfriend says I'm smart and all that, which I'm happy with that. But the fact that they say, oh, but maybe what is he doing? You know, like is he working or is he just like, you know, slacking at home? Then like in my mind, like what like really? But just because, you know, like that's the same thing just because I'm Malay, but so I'm just gonna stay at home and not do anything. Yeah. Then like sometimes like it like pisses me off, you know, like to know that I'm actually doing better than the people who are saying those comments, you know. You know, like I'm actually earning more than whatever. Yeah. So yeah, it really pisses me off.
Why you so Haolian? Why aren't you supposed to be single eyelid? And how come you cannot read Chinese?
For example, someone will just come to me with like, why are you so black? So I'm like, how do I answer that? That's like asking me why do I have a pair of eyes, right? Like, I mean...
Someone asked me what I was doing with a Chinese girl when I was a kid, right? She was my girlfriend, I think I was like 14, 15 years old. At the time I didn't understand what they meant, right? But now, looking back at it, bearing in mind that they were all Chinese, so it became a problem. So every time I had a conversation with them, it was always like, she can get better or she can do better. And I always thought it was because of myself as my character and not myself as the person that was behind it, right? I think that was one of the most aggressive ones, but I was a kid. I didn't know how to deal with it, right? So nowadays when people joke with me, it's like, you're European, so you can do this, right? It's mostly to do with me as a person, so I just shrug it off.
So I feel like something that I have received a bit on the favorable, like a privilege, right? It's probably when I speak Malay, for example, in the workforce. Like there are times where I'll be like, please, maybe in Malay, right? I tend to get away, like, they tend to be a bit more helpful, like, for example, something that needs to be done last minute, for example, they might just nag at me and then be like, they get it done still. Like, so maybe I find that kind of understanding of privilege allows me to get some things done easier, I guess.
Not really. There's no discrimination or anything along those lines for now, or maybe I'm just oblivious to it and I don't really feel offended or anyway.
Okay, so favorable. So in my previous company, knowing that my boss was Indian, right? I somehow knew that I would be favored more than my Chinese colleagues. Yeah, and it was really true, you know. It's in fact true. So by joining the company on the first year, I got promoted, when everyone else has been there for at least 5 or 10 years and they didn't get a promotion. So just by knowing that I could connect with him on a race level, right? Because having 3 races, I could connect on L3. Yeah, so that's my advantage. Yeah, so that's a favorable. I know it's biased because I know everyone works hard, but for some reason I'm the only person being promoted. So yeah.
Probably not as a reply. I still can't think of how I can reply to such questions, right? But I'll probably tell myself that I shouldn't have believed that I am ugly. I felt like, because of such remarks, I feel like I tend to be careless about taking care of myself. I'm like, just give up, like, people is already ugly, what's the point of making any difference? But I think as I grow older, I just feel that it's not true. There are people who are so good looking and with dark skin as well. Like, I mean, they tend to love themselves, they tend to take care of themselves better than how I did back then. So I feel I shouldn't have convinced myself from their remarks that I am not, I am what they are claiming me to be. Yeah.
I think if somebody said something that way to me again, I wouldn't respond another way, like, why stir? So for me, it's just like, I understand it. I mean, the person felt bad already now, so I don't think I need to instigate more problem. And she apologized, so I don't see why I should react differently, to be honest.
I think this is even more personal. So like, my girlfriend's mom is very, I would say, xenophobic. Because she has no particular reason to not like me, you know. She just doesn't like that I'm Malay and the color of my skin. Why is he so dark? Or, you know, like, why cannot date any other Chinese guy? So the first time I actually wanted to, like, I was walking with my girlfriend in the park. Then I actually saw her and her dad. I said my girlfriend's mom and the dad walking towards us, you know. So I thought, I was just gonna say hi. But the moment she saw me, right, she walked one big round the other way out of the park, you know. It's like she's really trying to avoid me, you know. She doesn't even want to look at me. So there's no reason, no. It's literally the first time I actually meeting you, but without even knowing me, you already, yeah. So for me, it's like, what did I do to even deserve this, right?
How would you respond to that situation?
If I could even get her on the same table to even talk, yeah, then, like, I mean, take some time to actually understand and know me, because what are you basing this off? Like, why are you discriminating me, or why do you not like me? Did I do something wrong, or did somebody of my race did something wrong to you in the past that made you behave like this? You know, that's why I chose xenophobia. It's irrational. What? Like, what's your reason for acting like that?
People are always very closed off, to what they think. They're always inside their own bubble. So the moment someone is outside of that bubble, it becomes a complicated conversation. And most people just don't want to have complicated conversations. They would like things to be easy. So if everyone is the same color, it's an easier conversation to have. It doesn't matter if the same color creates problems between them, right? Because you can still have elitism and castes and all the other crap that happens.